Hey sisters!
The news, it's getting lots of rave reviews. A good time is waiting just for you at Sister Spokesman.
Hey sisters! Alright, so here we are. We're getting ready to start our afternoon programming talking about our crowns, and we got our wonderful panelists here. We're going to start to the far right of me with Devonna Pittman. Devonna is the founder and CEO of Natural Syrup Beauty. As the 2024 SBA Minnesota Women in Business Champion of the Year, and with 18 years in public service, she now spearheads a movement in textured hair care. Let's give Devonna a round of applause. Then we got Tiffany Blackwell. Miss Tiffany has a fabulous shop downtown, and she's the business owner and leads the stylist at VIP Hair Salon since 1985. VIP has been the go-to salon in the Minneapolis area for men and women looking for personalized styling and cutting-edge hair and nail care. Let's give Miss Tiffany a round of applause. And Trinice Brown we have here, natural hair care design specialist in braids, twists, weaves, natural and locks. She is also licensed in cosmetology for transition of hair through menopause, alopecia, and other health-related concerns. Let's give her a round of applause. One thing about it, we don't realize that all that, the menopause and all that has something to do with the outcome of our hair, and sometimes our texture changes, and it won't take a perm, it might not take dye, and so all them things we're going to find out a lot about today on kind of how all that takes a part in your hair, and we're learning from three experts that are very involved in this industry. So I'm going to start off with Devonna. Your braid center is embracing textured hair and natural beauty. Can you share a pivotal moment what inspired you with this mission and how it influences the products you develop today?
Good afternoon, everybody. So Natural Syrup Beauty was, it was an accidental business. I mean, I say accidental, but apparently it's not an accidental business. But I started the business after chopping my hair off. I was known as the girl with the pretty hair. I've always had long, straight, relaxed hair down my back. So when I would walk in the room, people would be like, oh my gosh, she has beautiful hair. I love her hair. And in 2012, I wrote my first book, My Pretty and Its Ugly Truth. And after I wrote the book, I realized that I was not walking through the earth as myself, the way God had created me, and I wanted to live more authentically, which meant embracing my hair the way it grew out of my scalp. So I went on this journey to allow my hair to just grow out naturally, and I made a decision not to put any more relaxers in my hair. But my hair was not agreeing with the relaxed hair, and it was very frustrating. So one day I had, you know how we do, we put the conditioner in, we let it sit for like hours and hours, put the plastic cap on it, and I took the plastic cap off, and my hair, it was not happy. So I cut my hair off at about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I had never big chopped, and this was in 2012. I had never big chopped, had never worn my hair natural since I was maybe 11 years old when I had a relaxer. And so I went on this journey to start formulating my own products right in my kitchen. Nothing I bought in the store worked. And so I started making this hair butter. And after I made the hair butter, I made it for people and passed it out at church one year, and they loved it, and they were like, well, if you keep making this for us, we'll pay you for it. And I'm like, you'll pay me for it? And here I am now, almost, 8 years later, and a booming business with several other, I've formulated over 82 products since 2012, and yeah, continue to have fun planning formulations.
Nice, and then just being out there showing the hair. Now you did another big chop recently, so Now you're back to starting. Are you gonna go back to long again eventually?
I just chopped my locks off. After I grew out my hair, I got locks. I had locks for 5 years, and just chopped them off about 2 months ago. And right now, I'm just really enjoying the journey. Loving my texture, loving my thick hair, and going back to using all of the products that I formulated. And I like showing people how the products work, so I can, really be like, yeah, this is what works on this kind of hair. When I locked, I didn't use all the same products that I use now. So I'm just really enjoying the journey. I love how my hair, I love how our hair feels when it grows out of our scalp. And we have beautiful texture. And so right now I'm just embracing the texture.
Nice, very good. Well, Tiffany, since you got that mic next, let's go with you. So Tiffany, again, is the owner of the VIP Salon downtown Minneapolis. I think that's one of our most upscale salons in the Twin Cities. I love going down there. For over 30 years, you've built a strong reputation for VIP Salon for providing innovative hair care services. What initially inspired you to pursue a career in hair care, and how has your approach to the business evolved over time?
That's a great question. Thank you, and we're so honored to be here today. Well, my Uncle Curtis Strother, who I'm sure a lot of you in here know Curtis, is where I got my start at sheer design. And that was when I was in high school. I started out as a receptionist there, working for Curtis. So I had always pretty much been in the business and understood the business. And initially my thoughts were like, I don't know how you all deal with all these people calling here, and they put you under a whole lot of pressure. But as time went on, I went to school at the university in Minnesota, and I still kept a job working as a receptionist. And there was something that started to kind of pull on my heartstrings, like, this might be the profession for you to go into, because I have a number of family members. My uncle, I have another uncle, Patrick, who's a hairdresser as well, and he was like, well, since you're kind of on the fence, why don't you think about just going through a skin aesthetic, start with skin aesthetics. So I went to Aveda, went through the skin aesthetics program, and then worked in the salon, went back to the salon, worked for 9 months, and I was like, you left school, decided to go into this profession, you need to go back and make certain that you're certified to take care of both hair and skin. So I went back and worked for 2.5 years at Sheer Design, and then started VIP, and it's been going on 32 years in March, and we're so grateful. And the beauty of it is that we all work together again. So it's been a journey. It's a blessing and an honor to be on the corner of 12th and Hennepin. Trinice and I work together, we're colleagues, we all work as a team, and we couldn't do it without the community. It just wouldn't work. And sometimes when I reflect over all the years, that's what's kept us in business. And we're only as strong as the next person, and we continue to lift one another up, and that's pretty much the foundation of how the business was started and will continue to move forward.
Nice, and absolutely, the community, you ladies got to know, when there's black businesses, it's so important. Number one, that we give you the service that you deserve. That's first and foremost, because I can't advocate for nobody to do business with a black business if that black business isn't ready. And I've unfortunately ran into that. But where there are occasions where we can go down to VIP or go to the store and buy nature hair product, do it, because we got to support each other, because we're just as good to support as that other stylist that's out here. We're here doing work just as good, and we can give you just the same quality, if not better. And you're supporting yourself, because at the end of the day, everybody that supports a black business, you're supporting another person that's going to be there to maybe give your kid a job or to give you a job. So think beyond just the product, but think about all the great things that we're doing when we do business with each other. We're building wealth amongst our community. We're lifting each other up, and we're making these black women here make you proud, because now you're seeing them in stores and you're seeing them do stuff that you want to see them do. You see a black woman running for the president of the United States right now. We always want to see people doing good at whatever they do, so make sure to support them. Now we have Trinice Brown. She's the owner of Natural Hair Designs. I'm going to have to check her out with my hair here. Natural Hair Designs has become known for their creative and healthy styling. How did your journey in hair care begin, and what made you decide to focus on natural hair and protective styles?
My journey started, I was originally in the real estate and title industry, and during the housing crisis.
And you're back here.
Okay. So my natural hair journey started, I was originally in the real estate and title industry, and that's all I knew since I was 18. It was a family business, but I've been braiding and doing hair since a teenager, and I never took hair seriously, something I didn't want to do. So I think I was probably about 30 years old. And after being a displaced worker for so many years, as the market corrected itself, I was like, okay, it's either are you gonna get a new career or you're gonna go and do some hair. So I went down and found Nevada and enrolled there, and I needed to support myself as a single parent. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do some braids and some sew-ins or something on the side. And I named myself Natural Hair Designs because I didn't have a license yet. But I had no experience with natural hair, completely none. And these people that contacted me off the internet, there was a movement going on that I had no idea about. People had these huge afros, and they were like, oh no, let me show you this site, let me show you these products, and showing you about how to find stuff on YouTube. And they're like, they have an afro this big. They're like, I want a quick weave. Like, okay. So now let me learn about products and, the hair composition as I'm in school doing this at the same time. So I just started to study. I used the internet a lot because when I first started braiding, back then, as a teenager, we didn't have the internet. So you just knew what you knew. I have really thick, textured hair, and so I knew about my hair, but I didn't really know about others and the different types of textures as I encountered with working with the public and using the internet. So I had a wider base of people with different textures, different ages, different stages of life. And so I really just got into it, and Aveda definitely, they believe in a lot of natural products and stuff, so they were just all for it. I did my first big chop a couple of weeks before I started, and they're just like, oh, it's so beautiful. And so I started to learn as it grew out. Even through that time, I was able to play with products, figure stuff out, and after that, that was probably about 10 years ago. So for the last 10 years with the name like Natural Hair Designs, I just attracted natural clients. And it's really worked out. I also had, one of my siblings has a form of alopecia. And she's younger than me, like probably about 15 years younger than me, but she's had it since she was younger, where that stress spots just breaks off. And it will grow back. And we've did big chops together, we've did big chops separate, but then even when I encounter other people, I'm like, okay, so I've seen this happen, or seeing different phases, or having clients that going through pregnancy or different hormonal changes. And you just experience different stuff, so that's kind of what drawed me to kind of catering to different styling, because some people can't wear braids. You too much tension. And even when it's natural, some people can wear them. You need them because of their lifestyle, or okay, I'm sweating all the time, I can't, or I work outside, do this. So just learning different stuff, and that's kind of been a motivating factor. So there's not a right or wrong answer, but just trying to help people through their journeys.
Well, thank you. So you since you have the mic, go ahead and you can start off with, because now I'm going to open it up. Also, I want you to know, ladies, there's a pen and papers on your tables for questions. So as I am asking questions, if you have questions, write them down and then hold it up in the air, and somebody's going to come and get it from you, and I'll ask the question for you so you can make sure you get your questions answered. Okay, so this is for all the panelists now. So as a Black woman entrepreneur, what unique challenges and rewards have you experienced in the beauty industry? Because lots of industries are challenging, especially for Black people. So it's a question that a lot of me want to know. And then also, Tiffany already kind of answered this in a way, but she can certainly expound on it, as to how has the community support shape your business growth? So one is any unique challenges and opportunities or rewards, and then how has the community supported your growth?
I would say unique challenges have been maybe more just learning better interpersonal communication with people. I feel like hair is something where people explain to me what they want, even when they might not know what they want, and still making sure that they're aware of my professional opinion and my advice or my experience and come into a medium. And then with community, I would say that plays in a part that everybody's in a different walk in life or has a different circumstance. So just learning how to treat people with respect and what they are looking for. And that's no matter what walk of life they come from or what type of texture of hair they have. Especially with doing hair, I see, people that might have a different texture of hair and discrimination with, if you have this type of hair, we can do this, but, just treating people equally and with respect, because that's what people are looking for, helping them find the beauty in the mirror when they leave my chair.
And I will speak more from the business lens. We cannot make it without the community. During the pandemic, that was probably the most challenging time in business, going on, 30 plus years, and we were trying to navigate what was happening in our country, as well as following what the CDC, the Department of Health, and the state required of the salon. It was very difficult because it was a moving target and a fluid situation. So we were trying to plan how we were gonna re-enter the workforce. Obviously at a 25% capacity, which was challenging because people have to take care of their families. Once again, so grateful to the clients and people that have supported us through that time. It was very difficult. And the fact that we cared about the community and making certain that they were safe and cared for as well, which we enforced a mask mandate up until, was it just last year? Once they lifted the mask mandate, we had no choice because we were supplying masks for anyone that came to the salon. It was a requirement. We had people that had challenged immune systems. So we had so many things that were coming at us, and we had to think quickly and act quickly to make certain that we were being responsible and accountable to take care of everyone. And with that, it was rewarding because we didn't have anyone on the salon, and we didn't have the Department of Health come in and state that we had to close. We just weren't complying with what they were asking. But it was very, very stressful. So I thank God, and I thank staff and once again the community for complying and working together through that difficult time. I get choked up thinking about it because literally I could have lost the shirt off my back trying to keep things open, trying to do the right thing, but the good Lord and we're still here and moving forward once again. And we're taking care of one another, and I think that's the key. I always tell people that. I'll never forget when Dr. Fauci said, people, you have got to take care of one another. And I think about that several times a week. When I go into work, we've got to take care of one another. And like Trinice just shared, you know, we don't know what is going on when our clients come through that door. I don't know what your experience is, you don't know what my experience is, but we're all struggling with something. So just to be there and to support one another, to love on one another, to care for it, I care about your family, you all care about our families, and we just have to take care. So having that level of care makes all the difference in the world. What's rewarding? Showing up every day, that's a reward. You know, we got out of bed to be able to just meet and greet different people. We're in an ideal location, so we have people that come through that, you know, some of them we know, some of them we don't know, but it's always great to have just a lot of wonderful camaraderie in the shop and to take care of you all as well as you take care of us. I hope that touched on what you were asking.
I think it did. I think it did. And I like how you talk a lot about the community and family and, you know, just kind of supporting each other in your shop and then the community supporting you also. All that's important. We don't survive without it. What you got going on down there, girlfriend?
I know for a fact that my business would not be what it is today if it had not been for community. There are people in this room who have been buying my products since I was writing on the containers. Lemon pound cake. I used to have these 16-ounce containers, the plastic food containers, that I would put the body butter in and I would write on the containers, and then I would go up to Neon and sell my products and people would buy it. And the support has just been overwhelming. I say it as often as I can on my social media page because I know that if half of y'all didn't show up at those markets and buy my products, there would be no Nature's Serum Beauty. Because the more we support each other, the more encouraged you get, and it gives you all the momentum you need to really keep going. And that's what I love about Black women. We will support. If you got a good product, people will support you. And so I always honor the community for that. And here I am today in Macy's, in Walmart, and I don't take that lightly because I know that without my community, without my family, without the people who support me on a day-to-day basis, it would be impossible. And so for me, it's all about the journey, sharing the pitfalls. And when we talk about what are some of the challenges, I had an 18-year career with Hennepin County. I ran for office in 2020, lost by 1,292 votes out of 85,000 votes. And it was painful, but I didn't have a plan B. And so with that, I said, I've been doing this little thing on the side. I've been making these products and people have been buying them. So you know what? I'm just gonna go full time in that. And so that's what it's really about. We might have challenges along the way. We might, you know, have these situations where we don't have enough money to buy all the things we need. But if you only got $20 and you buy your 5 containers and you double it and you do what you can with that $20. If you only got $100, these are things that I learned as a business owner. And now it's like I am literally going and buying like thousands of dollars worth of things when I was only buying $100 worth of things. But it's all about, you know, making sure that you understand this is what you were called to do, and in that calling, you keep moving toward that goal. There's always going to be challenges, but there's also going to be many rewards if you keep going in that thing that you were called to do.
And go ahead, give her some, go ahead. Absolutely. This question is for whoever can answer it. What is the best way to care for gray hair, and how do you keep it from turning yellow?
The pressure is on. Well, One thing to keep in mind, there's shimmering lights. There's a number of products that are out on the market. I use shimmering lights. There's a Band 2 whiteout. There are a number of different shampoos that will not compromise the health of your hair and will brighten it. But another thing we have to keep in mind is some of us are on medications, we're active, we swim, there's chemicals in the water. So the one thing I recommend is you have to kind of try what works best for your actual hair. For the most part, shimmering lights, you have to test it out because it will turn your hair purple if you leave it in there too long. I saw someone raise their hand over there. Okay. Band 2 whiteout is great, but that has a tendency to dry your hair, so you have to cocktail, and once you play with it a little bit, you'll have a better understanding. But I've had great results with all of the above. Definitely trimming the ends of your hair. I know I had a conversation earlier about how Miss Carolyn, right? Yeah. Was sharing with me that her hair turns brown when she blow dries and curls it. And that, once again, can be anything from, there's something on your curling iron, that a chemical residue on the curling iron that can burn the hair and cause it to brown. It could be, once again, the water or just numerous things, but working with the products to kind of cocktail it will make a difference. And you know your hair better than we know your hair because you're working with it every day. So just kind of start with just a little, and then if you realize that you need to increase the amount of product, that will make a difference as well.
Okay, so the next question is, transitioning to natural hair, why does your hair have a different texture? So maybe you had a perm, I think, at one time, and now you're going to natural hair and your texture is different. Why is that?
Usually that isn't just from the transition. Usually it's more, it does with like age or hormones or something like that. Your hair texture changes throughout life. And different phases of life, you're gonna have different hair textures. And sometimes it's not all over the head. It's in different parts or different spaces. And then also, especially if you've been using relaxers, I've noticed that the different hair textures do come from maybe even how long you were using them like that. But usually it's more hormonal or age-related type thing, to where, okay, my hair used to be so full, and now that I've transitioned to natural, it's not the same texture as what it used to be.
Sometimes it's just that way, and you have to try different things, which is the next question. Is it wise to use different brands or products on your hair at the same time?
When people come to me and they ask me what product should they use, I say your hair will tell you exactly what you need. If you're using a product and your hair is not reacting the way it used to act with that product, most times, one thing that I know about us is we don't use clarifying shampoos. We don't detox our hair. And for me, my hair needs to be detoxed at least once a year or once every 6 months. Because you keep putting products on top of those strands and your hair is not going to be able to take in all the, I'm sure Tiffany will agree with that. But if you keep putting products on top of your hair and you're shampooing it and you're really not, getting into the hair cuticle. So your hair will always tell you what you need. That's my response.
I'd also like to share something, and Trinice touched on this as well. Whatever is going on internally is going to impact how our hair and skin are going to reflect. So there are times when, like Ms. Tracy said, we don't have the answers. And there have been times when I've also mentioned to clients, it's time for you to speak with a dermatologist to have an evaluation of your scalp. They can do a patch test, and we can work together, because you can use the best products on the market, and unfortunately, we simply can't answer there's some questions we just can't.
And another thing to consider is the seasons. In the wintertime, your hair is not going to react the same way it acts in the summer. It's not going to react, I mean, like if you go to, I noticed that my hair is happier in the Caribbean because it's usually really humid and my hair loves humidity. So that's something to consider too. If it's winter, your hair is super dry, it's breaking, you know, you're going to need humectant. You're going to need more conditioning.
I think every part of us is happier in the Caribbean. Wouldn't you agree, ladies?
We all have to take into consideration, a number of us have experienced COVID, and COVID, I saw a number of people that had long hair and their hair broke off down to the root. And that's another conversation, managing our expectations in that, because when your body goes through something like that, it's obviously going to have an adverse effect. And just willing to manage your expectations of what your hair is able to do.
And you're just reading right into this question in my hand. You must have been reading the card here. So, what would you recommend when you experience excessive shedding? You talked a little bit about it just now. If it's COVID they had maybe or something, who knows?
Once again, it can be a reflection of your diet, a proper diet. Hydration is important. Conditioning is very important. And it can be keratin, protein, moisture. We do a lot of steam treatments in the salon that really help to provide moisture for the hair. And like Ms. Devanna said, the seasons play a huge part in how it impacts our hair.
Okay, so the next question, we got quite a few, so we're going to keep it rolling. How do you get your hair to shine? What do you do to get your hair to shine?
With natural hair, specifically natural hair, sometimes you have to get that cuticle to open it and the oils actually penetrate. And so you can put on something that'll shine, and it'll be just like a sealant where it'll just sit on top of there. Your hair is natural, so that cuticle is strong. When it's compromised with relaxers and stuff, it's easier to open up. So the moisture will hold in sometimes a little bit better. Or if you don't flat iron, it depends, because even with natural, sometimes you're flat ironing your hair and blow drying. Some natural people don't blow dry and don't flat iron. So, you know, if you're wearing braids after braids and that cuticle is just strong, nothing is getting in, and you're just getting a shine on the outside, and it's not really penetrating. So you're like, okay, it's shining, but it's still stiff. So if you want to really get that shine and get it to penetrate, you kind of gotta, when you do your conditioner treatments, use some heat, open up the cuticle. If you don't have that, or you don't have time to do that, let the conditioner sit in. Whatever you're trying to get to penetrate in there, you need time or heat or something, because it's a different type of texture.
Well, that kind of leads me into this next question. What should I use if my hair isn't retaining moisture and my hair is falling out?
Well, that's kind of what I was,
Yeah.
kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you want to do. You want to get that cuticle to open up so that you can actually get it in there.
Okay. With the recent advertisements regarding relaxers linked to cancer, what is your input regarding this and/or advice?
Yes, absolutely. This year, was it this year? Last year, actually, the survey, like we've been talking about it, we've been knowing it. There's been a lot of scientists that have linked tumors in Black women to relaxers, and they've said for many, many years that it is the common denominator. It is the one thing that Black women do every 6 weeks that connects them to cancer. But the science actually came out last year, and so now they know for sure that there's a link. And so I believe that we have to start thinking about removing these chemicals out of our regimen. And it's tough for some people because that's all we know. I believe I've had a relaxer since I was like 10, had a relaxer since I was about from 5 to 11, and then as an adult until I was in my early 30s. So it is going to be a very complicated transition for many Black women. However, when we think about our health and how we continue to show young women that are coming up in age that it is beautiful to wear your natural hair, that we are beautiful the way we are. No other race is being told that they are not beautiful, and I'm gonna be just as transparent as I am anywhere else. There's no other race that is told that you cannot come in or be interviewed for a job if your hair isn't straight. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't straighten your hair, but for me, it's important for us to think about the chemicals that we put in our hair. Those chemicals travel through our bodies, and it's proven that it is cancerous. And so this is an important conversation and a very bold conversation that we need to have as a community. And with that, I'll hand it on.
All right, well, you hand it on to the woman in the middle because this is for her and me, but I'm gonna let you answer it. How do I embrace my gray gradually?
That's a great question. So there's a few ways of doing this. I did the big chop, but some people aren't willing to, as you said, gradually. There are folks that like to do highlights if they want to still maintain a little bit of color, but yet still allow their natural to come in. You can always go to a vegetable base color, which will kind of rinse off the hair within 6 to 8 weeks. That's another option. Or just allow it to just come, take its time, and as you're ready to make that move, I encourage you to, it's the best thing I ever did. I was coloring my hair this goes to show you how neurotic I am. When I had dark hair color, I was coloring my hair up to once a week, because as soon as I saw a little gray, I was like, can't do it anymore, just would whip out the color. So once I just decided, okay, I'm done. And to kind of go back to speaking about the relaxer, for those of us, I wore my hair natural. I go back and forth between the relaxer and wearing my hair natural. I just try not, I used to relax my hair every 4 weeks, so now I stretch it out a little bit further. I'll go 6 to 8 weeks. There are people that is pretty much, they rely on a relaxer. And that I agree with you, and I completely understand we have to take care of ourselves and know what's going in our bodies, whether it's food, whether it's chemical, whatever it is. But just developing a relationship with your hairdresser where you can have honest conversations about it. I do talk about this with my clients, and applying a relaxer every 6 to 8 weeks is just a chance that I'm willing to take. Right now, in 3 weeks, I could go back to natural, may change my mind, but we do see a lot of clients with relaxers, and we just try to have open dialogue about it. And I think it's realistic to have these conversations with one another.
Well, one thing too, you also, because all of our hair is different, we don't want to necessarily recommend you do it as often as Tiffany. That might be a harsh way on your hair. So just that everything's different for all of us. And I think sometimes if you find a hairstyle, it isn't about whether your hair is gold or brown or red or whatever color. It's about how you look in your hair and how you feel in your hair. And then if you're concerned about going gray because you think you look old, well, you only look as old as you feel. I'm just saying right now. I do not feel the color of my gray, all right? So just remember that, okay? Everybody keeps saying, you don't even know how old you are. I said, I don't, because I'm embracing my life. Okay, somebody asked, why do I go bald so soon? Who thinks they want to challenge that question?
Well, a lot of times that's hereditary. And it could be over-processing of the hair, could be wearing braids or locks for an extended period of time. they require maintenance as well. But oftentimes it's hereditary, from my experience.
Okay, well, and that's just back to all the questions can be answered because there's a lot of different reasons. So again, it could be hereditary or it could be the wrong product. And I know some people that have lost hair out of stress. So if you're stressing, that is going to have an impact on everything about you. And your hair is not limited to being a part of that stress, okay? If your hair has thinned, is there a way to get it thick again?
My answer for that, just from my own personal experience, is cutting your hair. A lot of us are afraid to cut our hair, to trim our hair. We have got to maintain healthy hair in order for the hair to grow. If you don't trim your hair, your ends are going to split, and your hair's not going to be healthy.
Well, I got a good one here. I have to keep going. We got 10 minutes left. I'm not going to be able to take any more questions. I'm sorry, I got more here than I'm going to get to. So I'm going to try to move us as fast along to get to as many as I can left here. This young lady is Miss Payne. She's 21 years young. It's Beauty is Payne CEO is her company. How do you manage money with so much coming in, but it's not on a regular bi-weekly schedule? How do you shift into being more professional? Any of you? Anybody got so much money? I can't answer that question.
I would say I've always worked a corporate job, so with starting doing hair at 30 is completely different. This is cash every day, or credit cards. So it's just a process. I could only imagine what it would have been like if I was 18 and just came out of high school and people were just handing me money every day. So I would definitely say it's a process.
Yeah, that's a tough one too. You gotta learn how to save. You gotta put money away. You can't get happy about having too much money because that money will come and it will go, and you won't have bills to pay. So you really gotta think of, my advice would just be to think about what your expenses are and make sure that that's put away. Just like if you had a regular paycheck, you had to always think about what you're gonna have to pay your lights, your gas, whatever, rent, whatever it is. You gotta put that money away. You can't look at that as just free money. Then you gotta put away tax money. So you really gotta concentrate when you got cash coming in, because you could get yourself in a whole lot of trouble if you don't manage that. So you have to be able to manage it. And if you can ask for a financial advisor, or you about to get another expert up here to tell you how. So go ahead, Devonna.
I'll just chime in quickly. You gotta make some sacrifices. When I quit my job, my 6-figure job, I had to stop going to happy hour. Seriously, because happy hour is expensive. And another thing that I stopped doing a long time ago, and I'm not saying this is what y'all need to stop doing, but you can decide what your sacrifice is. I stopped getting my nails done. Because now they're like $100 and $200 to get your nails done. I mean, I got some press-ons right now, and they've been popping off left and right. But, I said I'll keep my pedicure. Now, I'm not getting rid of my pedicure, but it's really about sacrifices. If you want to grow your business, scale your business, and one day the goal is to work smarter, not harder. And if you want to do that, you got to be able to bring people on to help you. And the only way you're going to be able to bring somebody on to help you is to make sacrifices. I have 3 employees, and I just hired an admin last week. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't sacrifice a lot of the things that I used to do as I'm building. And the thing is, you cut back now, you'll be able to get whatever you want later.
That's right. That's absolutely right. I run a 90-year-old business, and I'm saying the same thing Devonna's saying. It took me a long time to build my staff to the size it is now, but I had to continue to sacrifice, and I still sacrifice today. I just choose the things that I sacrifice. I'm not out there kicking it every night. I don't go to every show. I don't go to every concert. I treat myself to a nice dinner every now and again because I work hard for my money. So you got to decide on what your reward is, but also the rest of it is all about the business. You just put your money up because the rest of this stuff going on out here that you're trying to keep up with is not going to get you where you're trying to go. And you all of us want to end in a good place, right? So we have to think about, what do we want out of life? Do we want to kick it with our friends every night? Do we want to hang out? Do we want to go to every $90 concert? I can't believe the price of these concerts. You know, just trips me out. That's probably cheap, you know? So think about that. Go ahead. I can't even go to a concert. I listen to music.
And the other thing to think about, I was 26 when I started the salon, so it's lonely at times. And I have to say this, that you're gonna lose some friends along the way. And you probably need to lose them. But, so just want to encourage a young lady, and you know, you have a wonderful community of folks here to support you and lean in and make certain that if you have some good friends, you keep them around, and make certain that you have people that you can talk to that will guard your heart and carry your business like you would. It's so important, because it's not everybody that wants to see you do well.
No.
We want to see you do well.
Absolutely. And that she nailed it. And I got to just jump on that real quick. First, she's right. First of all, most people don't like to see you succeed beyond them. There's this thing that people have about, I call it hateration, and they don't want, and they should, but it's in their heart that they don't in a lot of cases. So if you're around that person, young lady, move around, get away, and then put yourself in around people that are like-minded like you. Because 21, it's hard to find somebody else that's trying to do good. And then if you don't find them in your age group, step up a 25-year-old, find a 28-5-year-old friend that's trying to do things. Get around like-minded people, because like-minded people are trying to succeed like you. Other people are going to try to bring you down. And the last thing I'm going to say before I ask a few more questions here, don't get into borrowing money because you're doing good. Always be broke. Don't borrow your money, because they're never going to give it back to you. And that's the worst mistake. When people see you making money, they want to start borrowing. So don't get into that habit either. Just continue to work your dream. And like Devonna said, it's going to be time, but eventually that dream's going to come a real sweet reality, and you're going to be very proud of yourself. Can you tell us how to transition from a relaxer to a natural hair safely?
I hate to keep saying the same thing, but it is so different for everybody. Depending on how thick, how thin. Some people stand to, because there's a lot of shedding involved for most people. And some people can stand to lose a lot of strands. Some people, you lose that many strands, is not looking where it needs to be. So then that's when you're like, okay, I need to do a chop. So between the big chop, which is, you know, you down to the TWA, the tiny afro, or if you're just transitioning where you keep it straight. I have noticed if you keep your hair pretty much every 2 weeks, every week straight, and you're not letting the curl pattern and the straight hair, that's where it wants to break. But if you keep all of it straight, that means that you might have to be a little bit more frequent. Like you might have to straighten every week or every 2 weeks versus you can't wait a month, because that you'll have those two different textures, and that's where it's weak at, and that's where it wants to break.
Okay, so walk us through a week, and they're talking to you now, my darling, over here at VIP. Tiffany, walk through your week with your hair routine. What products do you use? Do you wash your hair weekly? And if not, how often do you wash your hair?
Right now, I shampoo it once every few weeks. I keep it few days. I keep it short because I'm active. I try to exercise, and I'm in menopause, so my hair, I perspire in my scalp. So when in the in-between, if I wake up and my hair is sticking up, which does happen oftentimes, I'll take a little mousse and just kind of smooth my edges down, and take a scarf and just let it set for about 15-20 minutes, and then I'm out the door. But I like to keep, I do not, this is probably going to sound strange coming from a hairdresser, I do not like to fuss with my hair. So whatever it is, it's gotta be at 15 minutes, because I need a shower and be out the door. Basically, mousse is my friend. On the weekends, I will shampoo, condition, and wrap my hair. And that's pretty much it. I try to keep it as easy as possible. Now, when I was wearing my hair in its natural state, I would shampoo probably once a week, or I co-wash, or if my curls needed to be revitalized, similar to Miss Carolyn right here, I don't mean to point you out, or Timmy as well. I would wet my hair and put like a little conditioner in it, and maybe some mousse or gel on the ends. Nothing to dry the hair out, and just allow it to air dry.
I got one last question, and then the beauty of this is, and I do believe she's in this room at this table, this question probably would be directed to. She wants to know where she can buy hair butter products.
You can buy it right here today in the back of the room. Mention City Beauty. We have anti-breakage, leave-in conditioner, hair growth oil, shampoo, conditioner, etc., etc.
It's all right here for you. So the beauty of it is they're not leaving. They are going to be right back there. So the questions I did not get a chance to get to, I'm sorry, but they're not going to leave. So go back and shop. They got that we were going to be doing some hairstyling here. I said, well, that might be another time, but today you can at least get an appointment with Tiffany. So check these sisters out. They're here till 3 o'clock when we shut down. In the meantime, we're going to have some more prizes, more networking. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you for coming out this afternoon.